Okay, then let's get started. Harry, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you very much, Jack, and welcome everybody to our Transforming the Player Experience webinar. Today we'll be covering rapid, secure digital onboarding for gaming and beyond. Your hosts today are myself, Harry Blackburn, the head of gaming here at Acuant, and accompanying me is Jack Taylor, our product marketing manager.
Yeah, morning everyone. Harry's going to be running through some slides just around how we can, as you can see here, transform the player experience with Acuant GO and the things we're looking to do more generally within the market as well going forward. And then I'll be running through at the end of this latter half of this webinar, just showing you how Acuant GO, one of our solutions, can really help, certainly in this market and beyond as well. So I'll let you take it away, Harry. We'll get started.
Thank you very much. So yes, just to start off with, I think first part here, just to go over some housekeeping. So we will answer all of your questions at the end of the webinar. During the webinar, everyone except the presenters will be muted. You can ask any questions at any time during the presentation by clicking on the chat in the column on the right of your screen. Please feel free to post any feedback directly to the presenter in the chat window. So to start off with, I think a good place to begin this is to give you guys a bit of background really into Acuant. So we've been in the market for over 20 years. That 20 years has given us obviously a lot of experience and innovation to get to where we are today. So we were founded back in 1999. We actually started off as more of a hardware business, typically making the likes of scanners in airports, making scanners for things like casinos, where customers would be able to put their ID down and we would verify the ID that way. Now, moving forward, fast forward to May 2016, and our acquisitions of AssureTech and Ozone allowed us to actually develop the technology to put that into a white light device. So your mobile phones, for example, to be able to obviously verify documents anywhere globally. From there, we actually acquired IdentityMind. Through our IdentityMind acquisition, we built out a compliance platform. We developed that for transaction monitoring and compliance, things like obviously IP verification and device fingerprinting. Moving forward to most recently, the Hello Soda acquisition, which is probably where you guys know the name most of. Hello Soda was we were acquired in April 2021, where through that acquisition, we've actually built out our orchestration layer and allowed for the platform to give risk-based scoring metrics. And that's the platform really that you see today. From there, we have over 2 million local installations. We have over 450 million digital identities within our platform, and we do over 1.5 billion SaaS transactions globally per year. As you can see, we are a fully global business with fully global presence. Bit of background into us as a business as well, just the companies that we're working with, operators here obviously that we're working with. Over in the US, you have the likes of Caesars, GameSys. We also work with Boyle Sports, LiveScore, Entain, Lottomatica. So as you can see from that, a lot of experience empowering gambling operators and gambling leaders in the market. Now, I think a great place to kick sort of the next stage off here really is to discuss the established workflow. Now, before we get into any discussion with an operator, before we start to discuss any form of onboarding journey, we look at a workflow. And there are 4 key questions really that we need to ask in any workflow. The first is this a real person? So is the person that is creating an account with you real? From there, we need to look at, is this person who they claim to be? It's all well and good having real details, but actually, is that the person who is supplying you with those details? Next, we've got to look at, can I do business with this person? Is this person someone that I want to be onboarding onto my platform? And then finally, should I do business with this person? Looking at obviously databases and lists and transactions that a customer has done previously. Are we able to do, or should we, do business with this customer? Now, looking at that, knowing your customer is more vital than ever in the market that we see today. Now, the current state of affairs, there's a rapidly increasing need for organizations to offer multiple ways to onboard customers. Now, we're looking at, for example, historically, you would always say databases, traditional sources of verification, that's the way to onboard a customer. But actually, looking at the market as we see it today, there is a lack of data available within these traditional sources. If you look at the UK market, things we're typically seeing are people are living at home longer. We're seeing people taking out mortgages a lot later in life, people taking out their own mobile phone contracts later in life. That all equates to having less data on these customers. So that is a real big issue really in the market that we see today. On top of that, obviously you look across Europe and you look globally, the traditional sources that we typically see in countries like the US, the UK, Canada, that those data sources aren't available globally. The other side of that is that regulations and compliance requirements are changing regularly. You tend to see obviously new markets coming up with new strategies, new markets implementing new rules. For example, the Italian market has brought forward the need to do document verification at an earlier stage. That is an ever-changing market. They are ever-changing markets, that we typically see. The next thing, obviously, with that implication of having to bring in verification earlier in the journey, is actually the damage that you're doing to your customer journey. The impacts and frustrations that the customers are seeing within the journey is huge. And that's down to the fact that the more you ask your customers to do, the more risk you have of losing that customer. Now, on top of that, what we also see is actually alternative methods of ID are now being requested. It's no longer good enough just sending in a document of yourself. Actually, there are multiple different things being asked for by customers. Regulators are asking you now to go and find alternative methods of ID, whether that is address verification, whether that is different types of responsible gambling verification, things like that are constantly being asked of operators. And obviously with that growing need to verify more parts of a customer, you're looking at a growing cost to onboarding customers. And that's obviously impacting how much money you are making off each customer. Now, to look at obviously us as a business and what we've done in the market to obviously support operators with this. Now, one of the key things that I like to talk about obviously is onboarding, onboarding and verification on onboarding. Now, this is one of my customers. It's an operator, typically work in the UK market, but actually they do have a couple of markets outside of the UK. Now, we started partnering with this operator around 2 years ago. They were doing around 60,000 new customers per year. And they were performing manual checks at onboarding for any customers that failed the first wash. So that is the traditional data source. And that's around 30% of people in the UK that were failing that. Outside of the UK, so in those other markets, what we were seeing is actually they were having to onboard every single customer in a manual process. So that was a real impact for them on their customer journey. And they were seeing a huge amount of drop-offs because of it. Now, what we were able to do is actually implement 3 of our solutions. One was Profile ID, one was Document Verification, and one was Utility Connect. And with those, solutions implemented into that journey, we saw a massive increase in new customers. They actually had a 78% increase of new customers, and that's all through automation. So their drop-off rates dramatically declined, and they were able to actually allocate resources into investing in new markets rather than having to verify customers in their current market. And the operator has since then opened in 3 new markets and seen their volume double since partnering with Acuant. Now, the second one I wanted to talk to you about is actually another partner of ours, but this is a platform. So we don't just work with operators direct, but actually platforms as well. Now, this platform started with 4 operators. They partnered with Acuant around 12 months ago now. From there, what they've done is actually automated the full verification process. So they were doing everything manually. They've now, they obviously outsourced the KYC for all of the operators on their platform. Now, since automating that process, what they found is rather than struggling with the volume and struggling with actually the amount of staff that they needed to maintain these operators, they invested in new areas of the business. And that investment, rather than having people manually do verification, has actually seen them have a significant revenue increase because they've invested in new technologies for their platform, which has resulted in them having 6 new operators, growing to 10 operators within the past 12 months. So having that shift in budget is always something that we see, always something that we see in terms of a benefit for operators when they're automating. So the message here really is stay ahead and be prepared. It's about the next phase of customer onboarding. So what does that mean? Firstly, it's about having a robust approach. So having that traditional method of just using traditional data sources to verify a customer is a thing of the past. You need to now have a multi-source verification process. That means having things like compliance functions, having other means of verification, of verifying a customer rather than relying on a single source. We're also looking at things like credential-based validation. Now, looking at actually ways customers can ensure you know it is them behind the device, ensuring you know that this customer is who they say they are by giving you access to things that only they can give you access to. We're looking at enhancing traditional checks rather than replacing them altogether. The next side of that is actually having a rapid go-to-market strategy. I think one of the big things that we see is obviously people trying to implement big clunky journeys, implementing big technology that takes a long time to implement into their journey. Now, that's all well and good, implementing automated technology that takes you a long time to integrate, but actually what that means is that gives you less chance of being able to respond quickly to regulations or to threats coming into the business. So one of the key things is actually ensure that you are using quick go-to-market strategies where you're able to implement and make changes very quickly. The next side of that, so point number 3, is actually implementing a positive customer experience. So having an automated journey, ensuring that you have an omni-channel. So that means having things like your mobile device and your desktop journeys very similar and intertwined, ensuring that you could each part of the journey can speak to each other and you know exactly who your customer is behind every device when they're creating an account. On top of that is obviously ensuring that it's fast. There's no point doing customer verification if you're not doing it in real time, because you will lose customers. If you are impacting the customer journey, you need to ensure that you're not impacting it to the point where customers are dropping off. And then finally, I've touched on this already, but being flexible. Being flexible with your risk-based approach per market is key. No two markets are the same. You're always going to experience different areas where you need to be more strict or more lenient within different markets. So having a risk-based approach where you can be flexible is so important. Customization and configurability is also key into ensuring your customers are having a fluid and real-time journey. And you also need to be scalable. It needs to be scalable in every market that you're working in. Now, that leads me on very nicely to actually passing over to Jack. Jack is going to be talking a little bit more about our Acuant GO solution. So as I mentioned, Jack earlier is our product marketing manager here at Acuant, and I'll pass him over now.
Great, thanks, Harry. Yeah, as Harry mentioned, I'm product marketing manager here at Acuant, and yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about Acuant GO, which is one of our deployment solutions that gives you access to the entire Acuant Trusted Identity platform. But before I jump straight into Acuant GO, I just wanted to start with this quote here from Mark R. Benioff from Salesforce, because I think it is a really good way to kind of introduce Acuant GO and just kind of lean into the requirement for speed within a modern business. So speed, and more specifically, the ability to rapidly adapt, as Harry's already touched on, that should be at the forefront of all of our minds as we develop and launch new digital products and services. The speed of digital transformation over the past 12 months was unprecedented, and we'll all be aware of the reasons for that. In fact, analyst firm Gartner have stated that it was the equivalent of 6 years of accelerated adoption in going digital. So everyone's moving online very quickly, and the need to rapidly adapt has never been greater. So speed is the new currency of business. So how does Acuant GO fit into this? Well, we wanted to build a solution that provides fast time to market, that spans the whole gamut of identity verification and AML and KYC needs, a solution that utilizes premium advanced technological solutions without requiring vast amounts of technical resources, without bringing your technical team away from building your product or putting out fires, whatever they need to do. You want to make sure that you can get this premium service deployed as quickly as possible. We also wanted to make sure that we were bringing in a solution that offered compliance without compromising on user experience, as Harry already mentioned, really crucial factor in onboarding players quickly and efficiently. Functionality or flexibility, also really key as well. So Acuant GO is going to provide you with the solution without compromising on any of those areas. So in essence, Acuant GO is all about speed, but the mission objective of Acuant GO is no code and no compromise. So why Acuant GO? Well, whilst the benefits of it being a no-code solution are hopefully clear at this point, crucially, it provides the gateway to the trusted identity platform, Acuant's trusted identity platform that I've already mentioned. So that's our proprietary AI, our proprietary machine learning, fully automated solutions. And it's going to offer you a rapid go-to-market, as Harry's already mentioned, really crucial in making sure that you can adapt quickly to changes, be it in the threat landscape or the regulatory landscape. It's going to offer you the customization that you need, regardless of how many brands you've got under your umbrella, and how you want to configure the data capture elements of your onboarding process. It's going to offer you that customization. It provides context-driven UX. So it allows you to dynamically update based on the information you require from your customer, and it's going to ease pressure on your tech resources as well. Really, really key as well if you want to move quickly, ensuring that your non-technical staff and your non-technical team can make any updates and make any changes to your customer journey. It really does speed that whole process up, without doubt. So regardless of industry or business size, Acuant GO is going to provide you with a really robust but flexible KYC solution, and that's the key aspect of this. So we've talked about fast go-to-market and the importance of that. Acuant GO, as far as we're aware, is the fastest go-to-market available in the market for a KYC onboarding solution. So regardless of a use case, whether it's onboarding or whether it's compliance, perhaps you need to verify the age of your customers, or perhaps you simply just want to verify the address and location. Whatever your use case is, it's really as simple as designing your forms, embedding your forms into your existing website, and then testing them, and then go. So you can conduct the design and the embed and the testing of the form all within our Acuant GO portal, and then launch it from there as well. And you can be up and running in as little as 1 hour. So really, really fast go to market. So some of the key features I just wanted to touch on with Acuant GO as well. The key things that kind of set this apart and make it such a useful tool for gambling operators and platforms. Drag and drop form designer. This is where that customization that Harry touched on comes in. It allows you to build unlimited numbers of forms, easy to build. This is where that no code element comes in. It makes it really simple, really straightforward to use. It really is just as simple as dragging and dropping. So it's going to allow you that all important customization. Global coverage. So Acuant, we've developed the market leading document support library. We've got over 6,500 types of identity documents supported within our document verification platform. And as I'll demonstrate shortly, we've also got localization of language and data fields within Acuant GO as well. So regardless of where your customers are located, regardless of what country or region, we can tailor things within your form, within your customer journey for them as well. Dynamic context. Acuant GO is fully dynamic. It's going to allow you the flexibility to change your requirements to, but it's also going to collect the information that's relevant as well based on your use case. Built-in consent management. So right out of the box, Acuant GO is GDPR compliant. So you can have confidence that you're complying with that regulation from the get-go. Obviously, security is hugely important. Our forms are encrypted end to end, and we use a token process as well for URL and API access. And finally, and probably most crucially as well, the orchestration layer. So this is how we connect to all of Acuant's third-party data ecosystem and our patented risk engine, which is eDNA. The best identity verification solutions tap into multiple sources of data, be it proprietary, private, or public databases, and a diverse set of technologies. So that could be biometric, it could be document verification, it could be more data-centric. Now, all of our data sources fold into a consistent identity verification model, and the orchestration layer is what makes for an easy configuration of that process. So we're using complementary sources that allow us to maximize the coverage and the automation of the solution. And like I mentioned, it's got our patented technologies such as EDNA, eDNA as well. So Harry's touched on some of the successes that we've had specifically within the gaming industry. I just wanted to just mention a couple of successes here around Acuant GO specifically. You know, you can get, like I've already mentioned, and I'm going to labor this point, but the rapid go-to-market of Acuant GO is really what makes this special. Just how quickly you can launch your solution. You know, we've had startups go live in under 4 hours. You know, complete process of going live. We've also had our larger enterprise clients, and like we mentioned, this is for any business of any size in any industry, and they've seen huge reductions in drop-off rates because of the positive UX that Acuant GO can provide. And whilst this final one isn't a gaming client, this is a Bitpoint Latam, they're a cryptocurrency exchange in Latin America. They've seen some really quite remarkable onboarding rate uplifts since integrating and deploying Acuant GO. So 98% increase in onboarding rate. I'm pretty sure you can all agree that that's you know, truly a remarkable and staggering statistic that we're really proud of here at Acuant. So I'm just now going to show you Acuant GO in action and just kind of some of the things that you can do within the portal and what that user journey looks like for your end users as well. So that first step would be creating your form. So Acuant GO provides you with a set of pre-built prescriptive templates that you can use to set up your process rapidly. Perhaps you just need public data and doc-auth. Perhaps you need public data, document authentication, and biometrics and passive liveness. We've got these prescriptive templates pre-built into the systems, so it's just a simple case of creating your form, naming your form, selecting the template, and you know, in as many as 4 clicks, essentially you've kind of got your a very basic, but your process built there, ready to go, and you can launch it from there and be ready to go. Now, obviously, most businesses will want to customize that process. So Acuant GO is going to allow you easy customization, whether it be editing or adding new form fields. So just again, a simple case of dragging and drop, as we've already touched on. It might be that in this instance, perhaps you want to have a coupon code within your form, and you need to create a new section within your onboarding form that allows the customer to enter that coupon code. So it's, as you can see here in this video, it's really straightforward process of just dragging that field in, naming it, etc. You can also whitelist and blacklist specific countries as well. So this is one of the ways that you can ensure that you are only onboarding the customers that you want to onboard. And then also custom CSS. This is really crucial as well if you want to make sure that your form and your journey all ties into your brand, of course. And this is where you can upload your CSS into the system as well, so that the form matches your branding. And the language localization I already mentioned previously on the key features section, but this is crucial as well. Allows you to then make sure your form is going to read for any of your customers, no matter where they're available. Once you've kind of built and configured your form and customized the styling, etc., then it's just a simple case of previewing it and testing it. So really easy to do. Acuant GO provides a staging preview environment, so you can just preview your form directly from within the portal. If you then want to embed your form into your existing website or existing flow, you can create an iframe and then just embed and paste that code into your form, into your website, and it's just going to present it for you there. So you've not had to write any code at this point. It's just a simple case of copying and pasting. And then once happy, it's just a case of pressing go live. You're just going to publish that form directly from within the portal, and it's good to go. So really quick, really easy, and really straightforward to do. So I've got a short clip here of what the customer journey looks like. So In this instance, Hannah is going to enter her phone number, and it's then going to send, Acuant GO is then going to send her an SMS, which she then opens on her mobile device. So this is where that omni-channel handover that Harry was talking about comes into play. So she's using the camera on her mobile device, which is a much higher resolution camera than her desktop webcam. So she's using that to capture the images of her front and back side of her document. And that's going to mean that we can make sure we're checking the security features of that document with a high level of confidence. She's then going to capture the selfie. And as you can see, this is all updated in real time on the desktop as she's been going through this. So the two platforms are speaking to each other, you know, completely intertwined and completely on the same page. So it's really quick and easy form creation with Acuant GO. Again, multilingual support with unlimited forms. You've got that pre-integration with our entire trusted identity platform. As Harry was talking about, the 20 years of experience that we've got within the industry and what we bring to identity verification and KYC from that perspective. Easy multi-factor authentication, and then again, the cross-device workflows, that omni-channel integration with the mobile device speaking to desktop and vice versa. Okay, so once you've kind of gone live with your form, you're then going to want to be able to view the results. And we provide an admin portal for you to be able to do that, so you can view your customer's onboarding process in detail. You can compare the submitted versus the extracted information, for instance. You can view the rule set results that you've implemented into your journey. You can view the overall document authentication result, for instance. So all of these results, all the elements of your customer's onboarding process are clearly displayed and easily accessible for you to view. And then should you need to manually approve or decline, you can do that from within this admin portal as well. Okay, so we're kind of coming up to half an hour. Okay, so yeah, we're on time, which is good. We're now going to do a bit of a Q&A. So we've had a couple of questions coming through. We'll be keeping an eye on those as they've been coming through. So we're going to see if we can get through a few of these. We've got a couple of gaming questions specifically come through, Harry. So I don't know if you want to take that first one that's come through there.
Yeah, of course, definitely. So first question we've got here is, how can Acuant GO stop bonus abuse? I think one of the key things here is actually the back office and what we offer. So obviously what we're able to offer through our eDNA platform that we touched upon earlier is a database in the back end with over 450 million identities, which gives you a reputational analysis on those identities or data points. And any device, number, IP address, email address, any data point realistically that we see from that customer will flag if that customer has a bad reputation from a database, or if we see customers creating accounts coming in from the same, as I mentioned, device, number, IP, that sort of thing. So that can give you a really good approach to obviously avoiding bonus abuse and give you a multi-pronged approach to ensuring that doesn't happen.
Great, good stuff. We've got one here a bit more specifically around Acuant GO, so I'll take this one. So can you use Acuant GO to screen users for sanctions or watch lists to meet AML requirements? Yes, absolutely. Acuant GO can screen users through over 400 global PEPs and sanctions lists available within the platform. We use an advanced matching algorithms as well, using fuzzy matching and what have you. So it's going to ensure a really robust screening process. And you can this can provide you with an ongoing screening process as well for your ongoing monitoring requirements. So yeah, a nice and easy one there. Acuant GO certainly can allow you to meet those watch list and AML requirements. Harry, we've got another gaming one here if you want to take that.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I've got one here. So can I tailor the approach per market and stop players coming in from areas we don't have a license? Absolutely, you can. So one of the key capabilities of our platform and of Acuant GO is that you're actually able to create blacklists, for example. So you're able to ensure that you're blocking players on any data point. So for example, the IP, the email address, again, that I touched upon, but actually from country and market as well. So that just gives you the opportunity to ensure that you're only accepting players that are coming in from the area you want them to be coming in from, as well as, again, another way of obviously ensuring that you're not seeing multiple account creations is blocking certain IP addresses and email addresses. So that blacklist capability allows you to be able to do that.
Great, that's great. Yeah, and we've got another question here as well, which is kind of related actually. How can I ensure I do not onboard unwanted players? Yeah, as Harry kind of mentioned, you've got rule set tests, you've got configuration of minimum age, repeated users checkers as well. So yeah, those two questions kind of go hand in hand really. Okay, we've got another Go related question here. So after the registration, I want my clients to continue to be taken into a login page. Is this supported by Acuant GO? Yes. So there's no code needed. You can easily redirect your users based on the results of their application. So you just specify the URL that you want them to be directed to after completion. So for instance, I want to redirect my approved clients into a different flow to my unapproved clients. Really easy to do within the Acuant GO portal. There's just a result flow redirect section, and that's where you specify where the users will be directed to. So yeah, really straightforward process to do there. Harry, got another gaming one here if you want to take that.
Yeah, definitely. So I've got on here, it says you mentioned, so you mentioned credential-based validation. What data sources can you use to verify customers using this, and what is the benefit? Yeah, so just to give a little bit of a high-level overview of credential-based validation. So what we're able to do is we actually ask a customer to log in and access an account where we can pull back data to verify certain data points. One of the key things this is very useful for is things like address verification. So this is able to automate that address verification globally through the likes of utility accounts, PayPal accounts, and social media accounts to enrich your understanding of that customer. So what we can do is obviously within the journey, in that automated flow, you ask a customer to input their username and their password to that account, which obviously is a way of verifying that customer, ensuring that only they know those credentials. So we're obviously a very robust way of doing that. And from there, what we will do is pull back the name, the address verification data, and any other data that we consider relevant, such as the age of the account, the age of the utility bill, for example, the primary address linked to that utility account, the service address for that utility account, and the owner of that utility account. All of that data can be pulled back. And from there, what we do is cross-reference that with the form in real time. So you're able to obviously verify your customer's address through that way, as well as obviously through social media accounts, able to understand a bit more about the customer's name, date of birth, and address, and give you that confidence to verify that customer in real time.
Great. Yeah, I think we've just had a question come through as well saying, do you have automated address verification? So I think that kind of, I think your answers for the previous question there kind of explained all that really, Harry, around the utility account, certainly.
Yeah, definitely around utility accounts, and actually having a more robust way of verifying utility accounts. So obviously the traditional methods of sending in a photo of a utility bill, the issue you've got around that is the tampering of the bill because it is in the customer's hand. Now with this credential-based validation, we're pulling the data back direct from source from an account that the customer has no access to change. So that customer isn't able to obviously change the credentials because it's a live account with a provider. So that's obviously a very robust method. Other variations of proof of address verification are database verifications that we have globally, partnering with obviously different providers to allow you to access different databases such as electoral roll information, as well as things like banking data and that side of things. So definitely something we can do, and something we partner up our solutions with to allow for a seamless journey.
Great, good stuff. Okay, we've got time for just a couple more here. So how many languages does Acuant GO support? It's a good question. So we automatically provide ready to go templates with English and Spanish. But with Acuant GO, you're able to translate your form into more than 180 available languages. So yeah, not really any limits there around languages and localization as we've touched on. It's just a case of configuring that within the portal. So yeah, very broad coverage there from a language perspective. Okay, and I think we've got one more come through here. So, okay, in the absence of any fails, i.e. face match succeeds, ID is valid, will Acuant GO automatically approve the application, or is there always a manual approval step involved? Okay, so yes, you can configure a manual review if needed, but yeah, automated applications are part of the solution. That's kind of what we're aiming for here. We want to make that user experience as smooth and as quickly and as easy for them as possible. So yes, you can configure that manual review or that manual accept and decline stage, and you can do that within the portal based on your own risk appetite. You know, for those applicants who perhaps have or haven't met the conditions that you've configured. So flexibility, you know, Harry touched on this earlier, but it's crucial, and this is one of the ways that, you know, Acuant GO offers you that flexibility as well. Okay, right. Well, I think that's all the questions we've had come through. So with that, then I think we can say thank you all for joining us today. Hopefully, we've provided you with some good insight there from, you know, certainly from market specific perspective, and also around Acuant GO and the solution there. So yeah, I think that was all that's left is for myself and Harry to wish you farewell and enjoy the rest of your weeks.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.